Ring, we got another for you today. We're going to talk about Randy Orton's short face turn after SummerSlam 2004. But before we get into SummerSlam 2004, we're going to talk about how he got there. On the episode of Raw, he won an opportunity to face Chris Benoit in a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal. So when he won that opportunity, he did face Chris Benoit at SummerSlam, which was in Toronto, Canada. They had a great match. It was a very technical match because Chris Benoit was a very technical wrestler. I was surprised when I watched the match that Randy Orton was able to hold his own against Chris Benoit because he, at the time, was not a seasoned wrestler yet. He only wrestled for maybe 2-3 years altogether, but I believe on the main roster, he was only 2 years in. But I was surprised he was able to hold his own. He has a very good ring IQ. There was a couple spots where he tried to, Chris Benoit, try to do the cripple crossface on Randy Orton, and he got out of it real quick. It was one spot I liked particularly where he put the crossface on Chris Benoit put the crossface on Randy Orton, and he slid out of the ring. And he was able to get a couple offense moves outside of the ring as well. So Randy Orton has very good ring IQ, even at his early stage in his career when he was 24 back then. So I was very impressed with that. He was able to get out a lot of technical moves. He was able to get him in some good tie-ups with Chris Benoit. Also, he was suplexed a lot by Chris Benoit. But nonetheless, he prevailed. And one move he tried to do, he was very fast with Chris Benoit. He reversed the move he was trying to do, and he reversed to an RKO. And he got him for the 1-2-3 winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton. Now, with this win, he is still considered to this day the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history. He broke Brock Lesnar's record, who was 25 when he won the WWE Championship from The Rock at 2 years ago at SummerSlam 2002. And I believe that since Brock Lesnar did leave the company at the time, that Vince McMahon was very upset of how he left. And I think to get back at Brock Lesnar, since Vince McMahon is real petty, he had Randy Orton win the championship and to break his record that he still holds today. Like I said before, that's a theory that I've been thinking in my head, and I've heard that's a rumor. That's the reason why he won. Not just because Randy Orton's talented, but that was to basically get back at Brock. But nonetheless, I'll get back to the match. After the match was won, Chris Benoit was upset, obviously, that he lost his championship. He left the ring. Before he was going to go to the back, he turned around, got in the ring, put his hand out to Orton, extended his hand, and said, "You're a man." He shook his hand. He was very good sportsmanship, and he left the ring. Randy Orton was obviously excited, overjoyed, in tears that he won the championship. So afterwards, next episode on Raw, Evolution's happy. Everybody's happy that he won the championship. Chris Benoit got a rematch on the next episode of Raw. Randy Orton defeated him again. This time, a little help from Evolution with a little interference, distraction. So you got the 1-2-3, and he won again. Afterwards, it was a celebration. Because I know Triple H had talked to Randy Orton backstage about how important it is he won a championship at his age. He was so young. And he was mentioning how guys like Dave Bautista will get it right on to give opportunity for the championship. But afterwards, that match, Evolution did a celebration for him, held him up in the air, which turned out to be a mock celebration. As most wrestling fans know, it was a ploy to set Randy Orton up, had him in the air, the famous thumbs down, beat him up. He got Batista bombed and pedigreed. hit with championship, blood all over his face in the ring. And Triple H saying, "This is mine. It will be me. It will never be you." And that was it. So Triple H also the next week on Raw, he asked Randy Orton to give him the championship, saying, "The only reason you got what you asked because of Evolution. We brought you here. You know, you should do the honor, give me that title back. It's mine. Triple H always was the World Heavyweight Champion in his eyes, no matter what." Randy Orton came to the ring, made it seem like he was going to give him the title. Turns out he spit in his face, and Triple H was livid. And after he spit on him, he ran out the ring, went to the side as the Evolution came after him. And Triple H complained to Eric Bischoff saying, "I want a match against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship." Of course, Eric Bischoff gave it to him because he pretty much did whatever Triple H told him to do, in my opinion, back in the days on Evolution and Raw. So the match was for Unforgiven for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H and Orton had a fairly decent match, a lot of tie-ups. He even spit on Triple H in the beginning of the match. It was like on his chest, whatever. Orton was real savage. So they had a good match. A lot of tie-ups, whatever. A lot of holds. A lot of maneuvers. A lot of near falls in the beginning. At one point in the match, Triple H pushed Randy Orton to the referee, knocked him out. Jonathan Coachman came down, tried to be a crooked referee. Randy Orton RKO'd him. Evolution came to the ring. Randy Orton took out Batista and Ric Flair. Batista was able to get a spine buster on him. So Ric Flair had brought a chair into the ring for Triple H to use on Orton. He wasn't able to use that first, but after Batista got the spine buster in, Triple H grabbed the chair, hit Orton with it, pedigreed him on top of the chair, and brought the original referee back in. Batista dragged Earl Hebner back in. 1, 2, 3. Triple H is crowned the new World Heavyweight Champion, ending Randy Orton's championship run, short run at 28 days. He didn't hold the belt that long. Now there's rumors backstage saying that he wasn't ready, he was immature, it wasn't time for him to be champion yet. But like I mentioned earlier, that's the real reason, was because of the whole record thing. So Triple H won the championship back. Randy Orton looked pissed as in the ring as he lost his belt. So Randy Orton and Triple H, that the rivalry continued, but this time it was at Survivor Series 2004. Team Triple H versus Team Orton. The team of Triple H was Triple H himself, Batista, Edge, and Snitsky, against Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Maven. 4-on-4 Survivor Series match. Triple H team had the advantage because Maven was injured. He was beaten up backstage. So it was really 4-on-3 in the beginning. So they was able to eliminate Chris Jericho, I believe, at first. Maven did come back later when he was eliminated. I think it came down to, at the end of the day, it was Triple H and Edge versus Orton. They did a tag team on him. They beat him up. But Orton was able to get one on Edge. He eliminated Edge. Came down to Triple H and Orton. Triple H went for the pedigree. It got reversed. Randy Orton hit the RKO. 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton wins the Survivor Series match. He's the sole survivor. Now, with the stipulation, since Randy Orton's team won, they got the opportunity to run Raw for the next 4 weeks. Each man on that team that won get to choose what kind of match goes. Now, Randy Orton, his week of running Raw, he ended up somehow getting an opportunity against Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. They cut a promo saying, Triple H saying, if you have a match against Ric Flair, if you can beat Flair, you get a shot against me for the championship. But if Ric Flair had won, you never get an opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as I'm champion. The match they had, Ric Flair did win, but Triple H interfered. Ric Flair was able to get the win. That was it. Randy Orton got no more opportunity for the championship as long as Triple H was champion. But before Evolution could go, they got beat up by the whole Raw roster. They blocked them in. They blocked them in the back, blocked them on the side. And they went in the middle of the ring. And it was Maven, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Randy Orton, the guys that won the Survivor Series team. Randy Orton first RKO Flair. Then Triple H tried to run out the ring, try to leave. And they ended up RKOing him. So that was it. Now, at this point, since he was out of the championship hunt, Chris Benoit, a former World Heavyweight Champion, and Edge, they had won a Battle Royal simultaneously. Both of them were eliminated. Their feet hit the floor at the same time the week that Randy Orton ran Raw. So they both had an opportunity to face Triple H in the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, in the match, it was ended so controversial. Triple H came in the match. He tried to cheat as usual. He attacked Randy Orton one point in the match, even though Randy Orton was the acting GM for that particular evening. Randy Orton retaliated. He hit Triple H with the chair outside of the ring, took him out. Now, Chris Benoit and Edge. Edge was going for the spear. Chris Benoit reversed it to the crossface, had him in the hold. Edge was able to turn Chris Benoit over. Chris Benoit was pinned simultaneously at the same time when Edge tapped out. So since they both tapped out and pinned simultaneously, there was a draw. And normally when it's like that, a draw, the championship retains with the champion, but for some reason they vacated the belt, which was weird because Triple H was supposed to retain that belt. He wasn't supposed to lose it. And Triple H was outright, and in hindsight, he should be. He should have retained the championship because it was a draw. But since the championship was vacated, they was going to decide a new winner at the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view in 2005. Now, it was Batista, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Triple H as champion, and Shawn Michaels the special guest referee, and Edge. Came down to Randy Orton, Triple H again. Batista, he had eliminated Batista previously with an RKO, but Batista helped Triple H defeat Orton after he was eliminated. Triple H was able to get the pedigree and win his 10th championship overall. And Randy Orton felt like he was wronged. Eric Bischoff agreed. It was the number one contendership match on that episode of Raw between Orton and Batista. Batista lost that match. Orton won. So it's going to be Triple H versus Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, this match here, I watched it. The Royal Rumble pay-per-view is very similar to the Unforgiven match. Very similar. It's the whole cadence of the match, the holds, the everything. The only difference maker was Evolution wasn't down there this time because Batista was in the Royal Rumble and Ric Flair was, I think he had a match as well. The only difference maker was Triple H tried to use a sledgehammer. Now, there was one spot where Randy Orton went for his famous DDT move. Triple H held on to the rope, pushed him down, and Randy Orton had a storyline concussion. And he could not get up. He went outside the ring. He pulled Triple H to the out there, took him out. Triple H was going to use the sledgehammer since Randy Orton was out from that concussion. He threw the sledgehammer out because the referee was going to turn and see him since he was knocked out, similar to the Unforgiven pay-per-view. So he pedigreed him, retained his World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Randy Orton, he was out. Triple H even glanced and looked at him afterwards. But they said it was a storyline concussion. I thought it was a legit injury, but it was storyline. It was weird because Triple H was a heel. Why would he be concerned about Randy Orton if he's a heel? Nonetheless, he retained his title. This was pretty much the end of Randy Orton's face run. He went on to feud with The Undertaker for the WrestleMania pay-per-view, which would be WrestleMania 21 in April of that year. There was not much more to say with this storyline. Like I said, Randy Orton, his face run was a fail. He didn't get that much reception from the fans. He didn't get that much reception, period, at the pay-per-views or even at the regular weekly shows or house shows. So it ended abruptly after the Royal Rumble. He slowly started to turn heel after this, and I'll mention the rest of that in the next video. It's pretty much when he goes into I would say, the prime of his Legend Killer run again. But this was pretty much it after that. If there's anything you guys want to comment or mention that I didn't mention, you can do that. You can like or dislike, subscribe, don't subscribe. It's your prerogative, not mine. Until then,